Let's talk about the state of ranked matchmaking in Gears 5 for a moment. For those of y'all that don't know, I mentioned this in a lot of my videos. I tend to stick to mostly King of the Hill ranked. So a lot of this is first-hand experience, but I've been playing since release, and I'd say I have a pretty good grasp of a lot of the issues that ranked has, and I know a lot of people have had similar issues, and I'm hoping a lot of people agree with me. Is ranked gameplay balanced? Does Gears really put everything it can into making sure that people playing ranked, whoever goes into the ranked playlist, has a good balanced match between your team and the enemy team? The short answer to this is obviously no. I'll get to some of the major changes that were implemented just last week that has actually improved the ranked experience as a whole. But for now, I want to talk about things that weren't necessarily affected by that update. Now, when you hop into a ranked match, you expect for you to be put in a competent team, and you're going to be going up against another, pretty much same level skilled team. And that's just not the case most of the time. I'll be the first one to admit as well, I'm not the best Gears player out there. I have my moments where I clutch it for the team, where I'm top fragging, I drop about 80 kills in a King of the Hill match, and then sometimes I have my games where I'm at the bottom of the leaderboard. I'm like your average Gears player where at times I can show promise of being something better, but then sometimes I'm at the bottom and I'm basically the laughing stock of the team. However, when it comes to matchmaking, 9 out of 10 times, it's extremely lopsided, where one team just completely steamrolls the other team. I've been on both sides in the case where, we get to 180 in King of the Hill and the other team barely hits 20. And the same thing has happened to my team where we barely hit 20 no matter how hard we try. And it just seems like the matchmaking has lots of flaws. And another pretty big issue, and I understand why the coalition did this, but when it comes to PC and console players, there is a huge gap when it comes to skill level. And this goes for both console players versus PC players and the other way around. When it comes to PC players, hands down, the shooting, PC players are going to win. In a straight up gunfight, the PC player is going to come out on top majority of the time. Now, I'm not saying that console players can't compete with PC players because there are some really skilled console players out there. And I'm aware that Gears isn't all about the shooting. It is a very mobile game. In Gears, you have to be aware about your surroundings and just the way you move your character from cover to cover. And in that aspect, console players, in my opinion, are way more skilled than PC players because you can maneuver so much easier using a console controller. And I play PC. I use a mouse and keyboard, and when it comes down to shooting, I am great, but maneuvering and wall bouncing, I still have a little bit of trouble doing that with my keyboard because it's just not as easy. So there is pros and cons to playing on console versus PC, but when it comes to ranked matchmaking, it lumps everybody together. And I just want to show y'all a clip. This was a ranked match that I had a few days ago. As you can see, the entire Swarm team is PC players, and we destroyed them. They did not stand a chance. Stuff like this should not be happening. If you're gonna have PC players, you have to at least spread them out evenly between both teams. And I know that it's not really an option to have PC players and console players separate because that would just lower the PC community. You saw that happen in Gears 4. The PC community, after like 2 or 3 months, it was almost non-existent. And then they introduced crossplay with Xbox and PC, and that kind of, revived the community a little bit. But now that Gears 5 is on Steam, I don't really think there's an issue. And while we're talking about matchmaking, good luck to anybody trying to queue up to ranked solo. Because for some reason, this game doesn't try to pair up parties against other parties. It kind of baffles me because it's such a simple concept. Many games do this even outside of ranks. Whenever a party of people joins a lobby, it always tries to pair them up against other people in a similar sized party in order to have a balanced experience. but for some reason Gears 5 does not do that. Many times you will get a team, even if they're decent, even if they're not like the most professional team out there or the most skilled, being in a team, they are able to communicate and just have better like map awareness and just team awareness, and as a result, the people that queued up solo are gonna lose, and then you get the quitters. There are so many quitters in ranked, and as I mentioned earlier, I was gonna talk about some stuff that got implemented that improved it. They finally started penalizing quitters, which is something they should have done from the very beginning, because there have been many matches where we have somebody on our team that quits and it just kind of goes downhill from there and we lose, or even somebody on the other team quits, whether it's a disconnect or something, and then we just completely destroy them and there's nothing they can do about it. The whole team has to suffer because of that. So now they actually implemented a system that if you quit a certain amount of times, you actually get banned from playing ranked, which I think is great. That should have been in the game from the very beginning. And now that we've talked about matchmaking and ranked, let's get to actually trying to ranked up in this game, because almost nobody has any idea what affects your ranked points. You win a match, you get deranked for some reason. You lose a match, you get more points than when you win. It just makes no sense. The coalition mentioned that this game was going to be focused on more team play, so of course you try to be the team player. You don't run in and rush the point to try to get as many kills, and apparently you get penalized. Even if you win, you don't get as many points because you were sent back not really doing anything. Even though you were covering fire and doing a lot of damage and covering the point, you still lose points. And then there was that update that came out, I believe, last Thursday, where people lost an extreme amount of ranked points for the smallest of reasons. As I said, I'm a pretty average Gears player. I was in Gold 2 before the update came out. I lost 2 rounds and I got dropped all the way down to Silver 1. That is a pretty big drop, and I'll admit, maybe I had some really bad games that warranted me being dropped that low, but this is happening to a lot of other people. And then even after I got dropped to Silver 1, I played some more ranked and I had some pretty good matches. I think I won like 3 or 4 matches in a row. There was absolutely no change in my placement. I honestly think it's going to take much longer to rank up out of Silver now, because for some reason the game doesn't think I was in gold after losing 2 matches after this game came out. And I'll put the statement in the description below because they mentioned why they did this, and a lot of people are saying that it's because the majority of the Gears ranked community was too high up in the leaderboards, because I don't know, I guess there just wasn't enough people playing or some other reason. But they said that this new update correctly shows what skill level you are and brings a more balanced experience to everybody playing Gears 5, and a lot of people think that was pretty much BS. So at the moment, Gears 5 ranked is in a pretty bad state, whether it's matchmaking or actually attempting to rank up and make some progress. It's pretty bad at the moment. A lot of the ranked community has issues with the way they're handling, and I'm hoping they come up with some better fixes, because at least they addressed the quitters. That was good. That was a huge complaint from the community that quitters weren't getting penalized and was ruining games, so they fixed that. But I'm hoping they listen to other parts and they fix the whole matchmaking of actually getting paired up with similarly skilled players, actually making it clear what's causing you to lose or gain tier points. But other than that, that's all I got for y'all. I want to know, did the last update affect your ranking like it did with me and many other people? Anyways, that's all I got for y'all. If you enjoyed my content, please leave a like, subscribe. Hope y'all have a good one, and I'll catch y'all next time.